Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Chronicles, the 18th chapter. And as we saw in the previous chapter with the reign of Jehoshaphat, right, in his fear of the Lord, right, in his taking away of the groves and the high places, and sending out the the priests and the Levites and the princes to basically teach Israel or Judah the ways of the Lord, and to lead them down the right path. So continuing here in 2 Chronicles chapter 18 verse 1. Now Jehoshaphat had riches and honor in abundance, and joined affinity with Ahab, and that affinity was like a in this case like a friendship, an alliance. So to that effect. And after certain years he went down to Ahab to Samaria, and Ahab killed sheep and oxen for him in abundance, and for the people that he had with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth Gilead, because at this point the Syrians, as we've seen in time past, there were periodic wars back and forth between the various kings of Israel and the Syrians. And at this time, the Syrians were going back and forth with the northern kingdom. And so Ahab seeks Jehoshaphat's assistance in going up to battle against them. And Ahab, king of Israel, said unto Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, Wilt thou go up with me to Ramoth Gilead? And he answered him, I am as thou art, and my people as thy people, and we will be with thee in the war. So and basically, we're pretty much as one, so of course I'll back you up. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord Yahweh today. Therefore the king of Israel gathered together of prophets 400 men, and said unto them, Shall we go up to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hand. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not a prophet of the Lord Yahweh besides, that we may inquire of him? So aren't there any other prophets of Yahweh? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him. For he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same is Micaiah the son of Imlah. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. And the king of Israel called for one of his officers, and said, Fetch quickly Micaiah the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat king of Judah sat, either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, and they sat in a void place at the entering in of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. So you can imagine those 400 prophets all prophesying, bringing up even accounts historically of how the Lord delivered certain men, certain kings, and likening it onto how the Lord is going to deliver the Syrians into the hand of Ahab and Jehoshaphat and all that. And Zedekiah the son of Kenana had made him horns of iron, and said, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, With these thou shalt push Syria until they be consumed. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord Yahweh shall deliver it into the hand of the king. So in verse 11 here, it's not that every single prophet was saying these exact same words, but this is in a nutshell, in a summary, right, in a one-liner, what was the sentiment of what all the prophets were saying here. And it was all, you're going to be delivered, you're going to win this war, you're going to win this battle, go up. And the messenger that went to call Micaiah spake to him, saying, Behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good. So I'm gonna let you in on it. All right. Right now, all the prophets are saying good things to Ahab. We know you got a history of always, not saying good things about him. But for your own sake, just go along with what they're saying. And Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, as the Lord Yahweh liveth, even what my God saith, that will I speak. And when he was come to the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go up to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, yeah, go up and prosper, and they shall be delivered into your hand, I'm sure. And the king said unto him, so you can imagine the way that Micaiah said this was it's almost like a sarcastic way, which is why the king was able to give this response. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou say nothing but the truth to me in the name of the Lord? Then he said, I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains, as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord Yahweh said, these have no master. Let them return therefore every man to his house in peace. Which is to say, as of right now, Ahab was likened unto the shepherd, right? And the nation, Israel, was likened unto the sheep, right? They would follow his command, him being the king. So by saying something like this, it is to symbolize that Ahab, like Israel not having a shepherd, or the sheep not having a shepherd, would be as though Ahab wasn't there anymore, i.e. he would die or something would happen to him where he wouldn't be in that position. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, see, did I not tell thee that he would not prophesy good unto me, but evil? Again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. Then there came out a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out, and be a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets. And the Lord said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. So Micaiah is saying, look, this is what I saw. Not only did I see the sheep without a shepherd, but I saw the counsel in the heavens, in the spirit world, that led to this, or that's going to lead to this, which was the Lord wants you dead. And so he's asking the angels, both the left and the right, who has a plan, who's going to, give me ideas. And one angel came on and said, I can do it. I'll just make sure all his prophets lie to him and deceive him so he can go up to the battle. And then, we can take care of it from there. And the Lord liked that idea. And so he said, yeah, I like it. Matter of fact, go. You have authority, you have jurisdiction, go and make it happen. Verse 22. So Micaiah is telling Ahab and Jehoshaphat, right, basically in front of everybody there, this is what I saw. Now therefore, behold, the Lord Yahweh hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil against thee. So you can imagine now, those prophets there must have gotten offended to say, oh, so you think you the top guy out here, So what we're saying is just, it don't matter, it's just BS. Because remember, the spirit was on them. A lying spirit was on them. Okay, so they're just like, who the hell you think you are? What, you calling us liars? And Zedekiah the son of Kenana came near and smote Micaiah on the cheek, and said, which way went the spirit of the Lord Yahweh from me to speak unto thee? And and when you look at this in say the NLT, the wording can help you a bit. It says here, then Zedekiah the son of Kenana walked up to Micaiah and slapped him across the face. "Since when did the Spirit of the Lord leave me to speak to you?" he demanded. So basically, from the perspective of Zedekiah, feigning himself or feeling himself to be, some great prophet in this case, he's saying, well, the Spirit is on me. If I'm lying, what makes your word true? How then is the Spirit that's on me gonna leave me, the righteous Spirit gonna leave me and come to you for you to speak the right words? Like, who the hell you think you are? And Micaiah said, "Behold, thou shalt see it on that day, when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself," which was a prophecy that Micaiah made against Zedekiah over here, to symbolize that something bad would come in the future, right? Something bad enough to where this guy would try to hide himself, Zedekiah. So likely they would probably be pursuing him or something along those lines. But then the king of Israel said, "Take ye Micaiah and carry him back to Ammon the governor of the city, and to Joash the king's son, and say, Thus saith the king, put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction, until I return in peace." Capiche? And Micaiah said, so you can imagine Micaiah, where he was fetched from, was likely the prison. And this is probably because of the previous encounters he had had prophesying against Ahab. And that's why Ahab says, take him back to Ammon, as though that's where he was gotten from in the first place. Okay? And the bread of affliction and water of affliction is to say, there's no tree called affliction where you harvest grain and make bread from. But it's just to say, give him a hard time, give him hard work, hard labor, see to it that he's not having a good time over there until I come back. And Micaiah said, "If thou certainly return in peace, then hath not the Lord Yahweh spoken by me." And he said, "Hearken, O ye people." So basically Micaiah was saying, well, we'll see, right, whether the Lord has truly spoken by me or not. And all you here, pay attention, right? Bear witness. If Ahab comes back alive, then the Lord didn't speak by me. Verse 28. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "I will disguise myself and will go into the battle, but put thou on thy robes." So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went to the battle. So Jehoshaphat looked like a king. Ahab looked more just like a regular individual or soldier here, to sort of throw them off. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, "Fight ye not with small or great, save only with the king of Israel." So your target, your priority is Ahab. Don't worry about the rest. I want you to take him out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, "It is the king of Israel," right? Because he was dressed like a king. He had his robes on. Therefore they compassed him about to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord Yahweh helped him. And God moved them to depart from him. So in that moment, he basically cried out to the Lord, and the Lord put the Spirit on them to probably realize, like, no, that's not him, and then they basically left. So they didn't take him out. For it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said unto his chariot man, Turn thine hand, that thou mayest carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And if we look at this here in the NLT, it says, an Aramean soldier, however, randomly shot an arrow. That's when it says at venture. So he just He was just shooting an arrow. He's on the battlefield trying to hit his targets. So it's not like he was aiming necessarily at Ahab. So how then did this bow or this arrow pierce Ahab between the joints? It was through the Spirit of the Lord. Remember, the goal was Ahab was to be put to death. It says here, at the Israelite troops and hit the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. That's that harness. So that's why when he said he would disguise himself, he basically disguised himself like a regular troop or a soldier. Turn the horses and get me out of here, Ahab groaned to the driver of the chariot. I am badly wounded. And the battle increased that day. Howbeit the king of Israel stayed himself up in his chariot against the Syrians until the even, and about the time of the sun going down, he died. And that was the end of Ahab. In the NLT, the battle raged all that day, and the king of Israel propped himself up in his chariot, facing the Arameans. In the evening, just as the sun was setting, he died. So he probably bled out, or whatever the case is here, but that was the end of Ahab, and that is the end of 2 Chronicles, the 18th chapter. So here we basically see the demise of Ahab. We see here the assistance by Jehoshaphat of Ahab, though we'll find out soon enough whether this was something that pleased the Lord or not, keeping in mind the history that Ahab had in his disobedience to the Lord and the wickedness that he did. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.